Discontinued fragrances. Everybody wants to know what are my favorite discontinued fragrances or hard to find fragrances. So we're going to get into a few today that you're not going to want to miss. So stay tuned. So guys, if you love fragrance, perfume, cologne related content, slap that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up at the end, and stay tuned for more fragrance related content. But we're going to get into the first fragrance. Now, this is harder to find. I don't know if this is necessarily discontinued, but it features notes of saffron rose, very well blended, and possibly one of the best from the line. And possibly one of the best of the line. But that's Dolce & Gabbana's The One Mysterious Night. Yes, Dolce & Gabbana, The One Mysterious Night. It's an exclusive edition from overseas. Rose, oud, saffron. The rose isn't overbearing, but definite backup bottle worthy. In my collection, I do have 2 bottles of this. Just a magnetic, sensual, almost a slight metallic vibe. I can't really put my finger on it, but fresh, spicy, warm, aromatic rose, oud, with a touch of citrus off the top. Fantastic stuff. One of the top 10, if not top 5, discontinued fragrances or hard to find fragrances in my collection. And again, that's Dolce & Gabbana's The One Mysterious Night. Now, is this fragrance worth tracking down? In my opinion, if you're collecting, possibly. But this is such a masculine, timeless scent. It was one of the best ever released. I don't know why they changed it or reformulated or whatever they did with this line. But the next fragrance is Acqua di Gio Profumo. Yes, Profumo, Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. This, like I said, is just a timeless masterpiece, classic fragrance. Slightly incensey, very fresh, invigorating. Just a super versatile, clean scent. One of the best of this DNA. Again, it takes that original Acqua di Gio DNA, adds some incense and some more oomph to it, if that makes sense. But honestly, don't track this one down. Just get Acqua di Gio Parfum. In my opinion, gets close enough, but this is still a masterpiece and one of my favorites in the collection for hard to find discontinued fragrances, and that's got to be Acqua di Gio's Profumo. Now, this next one, I have 3 bottles of it. One of the first fragrances I ever smelt, and it's unfortunate they discontinued this line because 1 and 2 are some of the best fragrances I've ever smelled, period. Now you can kind of get somewhat close to this one with other fragrances, but the fragrance we're going to talk about today is from Gucci, and yes, Gucci Pour Homme 2. Gucci Pour Homme 2, it's kind of a unique fragrance. Nothing else really smells like this. It's got some violet leaf, some pimento, some spice, some green aspects to it. Very different, clean, yet loud for being a clean fragrance. And of the time, the early 2000s, this was a hit. Great presentation with the gold cap and the blue juice. Just absolutely adore this stuff. Very nostalgic to me and one of the best discontinued fragrances of all time. This was so great for office and daily use. You couldn't find a better fragrance for the time that this came out. Elegant, yet fresh without being sharp. Lost for words with this fragrance, hence why I have 3 bottles of this. It will always be one of my favorites in the collection. There's a few alternatives you can check out, but nothing matches the real deal. And again, that's from Gucci. Sad to say, discontinued. Gucci Pour Homme 2. Now, this next one. Better than Le Beau and better than most coconut fragrances on the market today. Now, I believe this was an exclusive summer release from the line, but this brand always puts out killers. And that's going to be Hugo Boss's Pacific. Yes, Hugo Boss bottled Pacific. Coconut, citrus, lemon, sandalwood dry down. Just a fantastic scent. And I get great longevity for being a freshie. I get 8+ hours on my skin. I'm down to half a bottle, as you can see. But yeah, I am unfortunate enough to only have the 6-ounce bottle, 6.8 ounces, I believe. Not a backup bottle, 6.7 ounces, but I'm going to use this sparingly and easily one of the best fragrances for summer to ever come out and hit the market. Sad to say it's discontinued, but again, that's from Hugo Boss, and that's Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific. Now, of the time, this was the best date night / clubbing fragrance in the 2000s. I wore it a ton. I was a teenager when I was wearing this, and a lot of good memories behind this fragrance. And they do still have a fresher version of this offering, but the fragrance we're talking about today is Versace Man. Yes, the original Versace Man, the purple bottle. This is such a warm, comforting, yet loud and elegant fragrance off the skin. It features notes of like tobacco. I believe there's some neroli that puts all the pepper and spices together. Basically, Lannoy de L'Homme before Lannoy de L'Homme existed. Awesome juice. I'm so fortunate to still have this bottle, but nothing like it on the market today, in my opinion. Sad to say, long gone, but that's Versace's Man. In this next one, probably one of the best fougères ever to hit the market. Also from Gucci, came out, I believe, in 1998, and I smelt this as a kid, and I remember really liking it. Just encapsulated masculinity at the time, and great everyday fragrance. And the fragrance we're talking about today is Gucci's Envy. Yes, Gucci Envy, also, focus, there we go. Gucci's Envy, also another bottle that I have a backup to. Just an amazing fragrance. Now, very expensive on eBay if you can track it down, but is it worth picking up today? No, most of these aren't, in my opinion. Some of them are nostalgic to me, so I still have them in the collection, and I'll buy one or two. One, not two. One if it pops up for a good deal and it's reputable, but FragranceBuy.ca makes an alternative to this called the FOMO of Envy. Yes, by their in-house brand FOMO, F-O-M-O. I'll try and link it down below, but gets 92% close to the OG. I would pick that up if you ever wanted to try this scent profile or give it a spin, but just get the Envy of FOMO. However, one of the best discontinued fragrances ever, possibly, yes, and that's Gucci's Envy for Men. Now, this next one, also an Acqua di Gio. It's unfortunate they discontinued Profumo Essenza, and this one specifically, because it took that original Acqua di Gio DNA, gave it some more fruits, and made it more of an outgoing, standout kind of fragrance. And that fragrance we're talking about is Acqua di Gio Absolute. Yes, Acqua di Gio Absolute. The best way I can describe this is fruity Acqua di Gio. Now, I recently got my hands on something at my local Burlington that smells about 80-85% similar to this, and there might be other alternatives on the market, but Hollister Festival Vibes, I'll pull it off the shelf for you. Yes, Hollister Festival Vibes gets about 80-85% of the way there for 20 bucks. I think I actually paid 10 for this bottle. But is this one you need to track down? The Acqua di Gio? Absolutely not. I have half a bottle left, roughly, and that's all I'll ever need because I'll never go through a bottle, especially with my vast collection. But great fragrance of its time. Sad to see it go, but again, that's Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Absolute. Now let's talk about another fragrance. This one I think you can still find. It's very difficult to find. I had to get mine at the Dubai airport, sent via a friend of mine in the fragrance industry, but one of the best from Versace, probably next to Man, and it doesn't get the love it deserves. They just call it another Eros flanker. But the fragrance we're talking about today is Versace Eros Najim. Now, to be completely honest with you, I don't know the notes off the top of my head. I kind of wanted to throw this in as a bonus, but it almost takes that Versace Eros DNA, tones down the vanilla, adds some warm spice to it, and this is one of the few fragrances in my collection that I would quote unquote say I'm addicted to. I smell the bottle every morning when I pick my scent of the day, and I go to myself, should I wear Eros Najim? Just something personally that I like about this fragrance and I truly enjoy wearing. Same thing with the new Huas Fire. A lot of people are calling it synthetic and a re-release of just junk, but in my opinion, Huas Fire is another addictive fragrance like this. Great everyday fragrance. You could rock it, dress it up, dress it down. But again, harder to find. I don't know if Dubai is still carrying this fragrance. However, in one of the last spots, Versace Eros Najim. Now, in this video, I could have included a ton of fragrances. YSL Fresh, the hard-to-find Erin Terrence hues, even though those are still available. They come into stock on Maxaroma once in a while, but those are just some of my favorite discontinued or hard-to-find fragrances. Leave a comment down below some of your favorite discontinued fragrances. There's a lot of them out there. But guys, if you really enjoyed today's content, hit that subscribe button, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time as always. But remember, stay clean, stay fresh, and the world is yours. Have a great day, guys.